By the end of this video, you'll know the 6 homes that you should never buy. Buying the wrong home could be the worst mistake of your life, so I need you to pay very close attention to this video. Number 6 is the most important, so make sure you stay until the end. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. The first type of home you should never buy is a home with structural issues. If you're looking to buy a brick home and you're looking at the exterior of that home and you see cracks along the wall, that could be a sign of significant foundation issues. If you're walking inside the house and you see the stairs or the floor sloping, that could also be a sign of significant structural damage. You also want to keep an eye out for cracks on the ceiling. So I was considering buying a property, and during the inspection, my inspector uncovered some tremendous structural issues. He actually called me in the middle of the inspection and said, "Hey, Sam, I've looked at these things so far. This house is a complete mess. I'm not sure if this is something that you want to buy. You let me know, Sam. Do you want me to continue, or I could stop now and refund you half of your cost so you just pay me for my time?" So let me show you some of the inspection. All right, so what you'll see here is sloping, sagging stairs and twisted and sloping basement stairs. Very bad sign. And here's something else that's very important. So inadequate repair attempts at the basement stairs. Modified floor joists, improvised repair, severe decay at floor joists. These are all very, very bad signs. Poor workmanship and just neglect. So here we'll see, there's a bowing foundation wall. I don't know how to pronounce that. And again, sloped and sagging basement stairs, just a closer look. Decay at the floor joist, which is not good at all. And again, just more decay on the floor joist as well. So look here, improvise an inadequate repair attempt for sagging floor joist. Look at how they tried to hold this up. This is just unbelievable. And somebody actually bought this property. And then here, severely sloping floors again. Yep, really bad sign. I didn't end up buying this property because of these issues. And this is your friendly reminder to always get an inspection. I don't care what anybody tells you, you need to get an inspection whenever you're buying a property. It can save you a lot of headache, and it can save you tens of thousands of dollars. So the next type of home is one that many of you might actually find controversial. You should never buy a new construction home unless you know that the builder does quality work. And here's why that's important.
What does everyone think? It's a brand new house, it's not gonna have any problems. Well, let me show you all the problems that I find. That's nice. No high loop for the dishwasher drain line. Screws pointing out of the cabinet right here for the range hood. Kitchen island, literally not secured to the floor. Glass on a door going from the garage into the house, that compromises the fire rating. Deadbolts upside down, that'll cause premature wear of the cylinder components. Because there's an attached garage, we need to have at least one carbon monoxide detector in here, and all we have are smoke detectors. No COs anywhere. No insulation on the attic access ladder. And open grounds on our master bathroom receptacles. Wow. That's a lot.
My suggestion to you is, as the home is being built, you should have an inspector going there several times throughout the process just to check on things. And so if there are any issues uncovered, that hopefully they can be addressed right away. Also, depending on where you live, new construction homes sometimes might be more expensive than existing homes. So that's something else for you to keep in mind. There are some builders out there doing great work and delivering a solid product. I know many of them, but the point I'm trying to drive home is that you need to be careful and always do your homework. If you look at some of the nationwide builders, so D.R. Horton, Lennar, there's so many videos talking about the bad experiences people have had with them. So you just want to make sure you do your homework before you work with a particular builder, and that you're involved in the process along the way. A quick tip is, if you're looking to work with a particular builder, you can look at their reviews, talk to past clients, and see what other work they've done and talk to those people as well. And that should help you feel a little bit better about moving forward or not. So the next type of home should be obvious, but unfortunately it's not. You should never buy a home that has significant fire damage. As you know, it takes a lot of water to put fires out. And so one of the things that you are very likely to be dealing with in a severely fire damaged property is water damage, and it's not cheap to fix that. Fires can also cause electrical issues and structural issues, and we already talked about the downside of structural issues. All of these things are incredibly expensive to fix. So unless you're a very experienced investor, or unless you are partnering with a very experienced investor, there's never any reason for you to buy a fire damaged property. At this point, we have 3 more to go over. And as I mentioned before, the last one, you cannot afford to miss it. So make sure you stick around to the end. Now, the next type of home is one that I think a lot more people should be talking about. You should never buy a home with a roof that's in poor condition. The last thing the majority of you want to think about when buying a home is significant repairs. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments. Now, the average cost of fixing a roof can be $10,000 or more, depending on where you live. Now, if there are roof issues and you still really want the house and maybe everything checks out, you could do a few things. So one is that you can see if the seller is willing to repair it, or if the seller is willing to offer some sort of credit to account for the fact that you're gonna have to repair the roof. Now, if the seller isn't willing to do anything, then you may want to reconsider and move on to another property. The next type of home is one that I guarantee all of you will agree with. Now, if you don't agree with this next one, let me know in the comments. You should never buy a home in an HOA. Now, not all HOAs are bad, and I know for many of you watching where you live, it's very difficult to buy a home that's not in an HOA. Now, one of the downsides of an HOA is that the monthly fees can go up over time, and some of the rules, in my opinion, are just absolutely ridiculous. Here's an example.
I cannot park my own truck in my own driveway.
His subdivision, The Meadows, doesn't allow pickup trucks or commercial vehicles in their driveways between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. based on rules written in 1976, before Jimmy Carter first took office. Violators caught by the association's nightly safety patrol face warning letters, fines, and can be towed out of their own driveways. Mack agreed to the rules when he moved into the neighborhood in 2019. But hoped a new law would change that.
You can imagine how ecstatic I was when I heard that I could park it in my own house.
Mack and his wife now make twice daily trips to drop off and pick up his truck at a fenced-in lot our odometer shows is 0.8 of a mile from his home. He and his neighbors pay $500 per vehicle per year to park there.
One thing I want you to take from that is that he agreed to the rules when he first moved in, and he was hoping that a law would change so that the issue he's having now would not be a thing. One thing I want to tell you is to accept things as they are. Whatever the rules of the HOA are, when you move in there, you need to make sure that you're okay with them, because there's no guarantee some law is going to pass and throw all that stuff away that you're annoyed with. Here's some things to keep in mind if you're considering buying a home that happens to be in an HOA. So the first thing is you want to check out the meeting minutes. What are they talking about? Are there big repairs on the pipeline? Is there an increase in monthly expenses coming up? Is there anything that you find suspicious in the meetings? Like I said before, but I need to say it one more time, you need to look at the rules of the HOA and make sure that you are comfortable abiding by them, because there's no guarantee it's going to change and you just have to deal with it. You can't complain about what you agree to. You should also look at the finances of the HOA and make sure that it's being properly managed and they're not wasting money. I would also consider walking around the area and talking to the potential neighbors, asking them about their experience living there, asking them about their experience and their opinions of the HOA. This will give you some good information that hopefully can help you make a decision. I need you to pay very close attention to this last home, because if you make this mistake, you will lose a ton of money. The last house you should never buy is a cheap house. As you may know, I specialize in investing out of state because where I live in California is simply too expensive for investment properties. Now, a mistake that I see a lot of aspiring out-of-state investors make is they pull up a city, they look at the houses, they're like, oh my goodness, everything is so cheap. That must mean everything is a good deal and I can buy it, I should buy it, and I'm gonna make money. Let me tell you right now, that is a big mistake. The first thing you need to even consider when you're looking at properties is, one, if you're looking to buy a property that needs renovation, and if you have the capacity to manage that renovation from a distance, or if you prefer to buy something that's more turnkey ready and you can just put a tenant in there pretty quickly. You have to figure that out first. Now, the reality of it is the cheapest home you can buy in any city is likely going to need significant renovation. So you need to consider if you have the experience and resources to take on that project. Now, if you live in an expensive city, a turnkey property in another city is still very likely to be significantly cheaper than anything you can buy where you live, which is a good thing. You can still make money. At the end of the day, among other things, if you're looking to invest out of state, you need to make sure the property that you are looking to acquire is actually going to cash flow and is actually going to make you money. Now, if you're looking to move out of state, then things you want to think about: if you have children, what is a school district like, the neighborhood you want to live in, what is its proximity to the amenities that are important to you, crime, and several other things you need to keep in mind. Now, if where you live is too expensive, click the link in the pinned comment and you can learn more about how I can help you with that. Now that you know about the home that you should never buy, I want you to learn about why you should never buy a condo. Check out this video right here.